Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment.
What is up, everyone? We are currently in the top of the ninth in Game 3 of the ALDS between the Rangers and the Orioles. I am joined, as always, by Alex Curry. And Alex, the Rangers up 7-1, 3 outs away, and it appears it is in any second when this ball comes down about to be two outs away from advancing to the ALCS. Yeah, we're 2 outs away, so this is going to be a really fun show. We're going to have this celebration down on the field. When they do eventually go into the locker room, we're going to have exclusive cameras down there, and you'll see everything down on the field and in the locker room live right here on this stream. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm a sucker for some celebrations, and we're a couple outs away from getting that.
We just really have to take a moment and acknowledge how red hot the Rangers have been so far in this playoff. They have not lost a game in the playoffs. This is their first home game since the playoffs started, and they are 1 out away from clinching the series. And the crazier thing is, heading into this playoffs, the Rangers had not won or swept a playoff series, and now they have ever in franchise history, and now they're about to do back-to-back series.
Yeah, so there's now 2 outs. Cedric Mullins just grounded out. The Rangers are now 1 out away from advancing to the ALCS. 0-1 count. We got Jose Leclerc on the mound. That is crazy. Never ever in their history have they swept a playoff series, and now they do it against the Rays, and now they're 2 strikes away from doing it, 1 strike away from doing it against the Orioles. Just dominance, domination this postseason so far from them, and they did it all on the road, right? This is the first game that the Rangers have gotten to play at home. The crowd is rocking right now. You see it, and yeah, they look like they're destined. They are destined. This
they are 1 out away.
There it is.
There it is.
Congratulations to the Texas Rangers advancing to the ALCS. Wow. Tough performance there for the Orioles, but good for the Rangers. What a season this has been. A roller coaster of a season. We see them down there now celebrating. This is really cool.
Well, it's crazy because at the start of the season, they made some huge moves, picking up some big players, and their goal was, we're going to get to the World Series. And we talked before the season started, is this actually going to be the year that they can do it? I don't know. We got to see if all these pieces can fit together.
Yeah.
Right out of the gates, they were arguably one of the best teams in the American League for a good chunk of the season. Had that bad little slope, and then apparently Creed just picked him right back up.
Creed.
And now they're heading
Shout out Creed.
Now they're heading on to the ALCS.
Alex, we have a lot of, are you prepared for Creed? Because we're going on the road. We're about to be hearing a lot of Creed for the next week or the next couple weeks.
I love that Creed actually heard about it and tweeted out to the Rangers, good luck Rangers. But whatever it takes, Yeah. Apparently it's Creed. I wonder whose idea that was.
Yeah,
in that clubhouse. But you gotta this is so cool.
It is cool. And I love these. We've gotten to do them for the last couple of years. So you're going to see them celebrating down on the field. They're going to go to a commercial at some point. We'll come back, and then that's when everybody heads down into the locker room, and we're going to have, again, exclusive cameras down in the locker room showing the celebration. You'll be able to hear everything, see everything, and it'll all be happening live. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this team. The Rangers, they're 2 years removed from being really bad for the last however many years. And then last year, you could tell they started off really slow, started to turn a corner. It's after they paid $500 million to Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. But then this year, you go out and you sign Jacob deGrom. Yeah. And guess what? It all turns around. But the injury happened.
Pretty early on.
And there was time to be critical of the Rangers, right? The injury comes about, and you think, why'd they pay him all that money? You knew he was going to get hurt.
That was the big question. Can he stay healthy? He is an incredible, one of the best pitchers in the game when he's healthy, but can he stay healthy?
So that question was no. And what this team has been able to do without Jacob deGrom, going out and getting Max Scherzer. Look at Bruce Bochy. Good for Bruce Bochy, man. This guy's an absolute legend of the game. Hall of Fame manager.
He's a winner.
First year back. Good for, you know what?
He's a winner.
This was one of the biggest pickup for the Rangers.
That was
Bruce
the pickup.
Bochy.
Yeah.
You know, you can talk about the addition of Scherzer and the pickup of Jacob deGrom and Nady Eovaldi, who was fantastic tonight, by the way. 7 innings,
Lights out.
dominated. You can talk about all those pickups and Jordan Montgomery and how big he was in the playoffs. But Bruce Bochy, coming into that locker room and that clubhouse with the veteran presence he has and all of the World Series that he's been a part of with the San Francisco Giants, to now bring all of that expertise to this team, to the Rangers, I think he deserves a lot more credit than not that he's not getting credit. It's just that might have been the biggest pickup of the offseason for the Rangers.
Well, we talk a lot about experience, right? I think when we talk about the Astros and whoever they face, because they come in with all of that experience. They are the most experienced team, arguably.
Yeah.
Definitely in the American League, possibly in the postseason. So when you get a figure that is a leader, your manager, who has that experience, who has won the World Series, you have to imagine that experience, even though maybe not all the players have had the same, really kind of rubs off on the rest of the team.
It definitely does. Just having somebody in that locker room that has been a part of championships.
Winner.
And as a player, knowing somebody like Bruce Bochy is leading the way, you don't find yourself second-guessing any decisions or there's such respect from everybody towards him. And it can be really easy in this game, over 162 games, to question certain decisions. But with a guy like Bruce Bochy, it just makes everybody so comfortable. It's like you just know, okay, well, he's making the right decision.
Yeah.
He's Bruce Bochy. Of course he is. And now we see it pay off, and two of the new additions, Nady Eovaldi, Bruce Bochy, a huge part of this win tonight. They just dominated. They dominated this series. The Orioles, on the other hand, 101 wins. 101 wins in the regular season for the Baltimore Orioles, and they do not win a playoff game. In fact, Alex, of the last teams that have won 100 or more games in a season to get into the playoffs, this is actually crazy. More likely than not, that team is not advancing one series. 11 of the last 20 teams to win 100 or more games have gotten eliminated before winning a playoff series.
Weirdly, it makes sense, though, because if you think about it, if you're getting that many wins, you're clinching pretty early on in September, meaning there are weeks, if not weeks, that you are not playing meaningful baseball. And as much as you want to say, oh, no, we're still playing, oh, we're still giving it our all, it's not the same.
It's different.
When you're fighting to get into the postseason, opposed to just kind of cruising in, and then you have to turn it back on weeks later.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen like that.
It's definitely different. And, we've talked a lot about the buys, but that's sort of, you not playing meaningful baseball is also part of all of this and part of what we're talking about, why those teams aren't advancing, because you can't really replicate playing for your lives down the stretch when you're winning over 100 games and then getting into the playoffs. It's just not how it works. And those teams that are coming in fighting for their lives, the Rangers are a good example. Yeah. And they were fighting, but they weren't putting up a good fight, by the way.
Well, and the craziest thing is the last week of the season, they almost blew it. They had
That's what I'm saying.
They had the ALCS and blew it. And then decided well, it's the playoffs, so we'll just turn it back on again, and haven't lost a game in the postseason. And the coolest part, I think, here, this was their first home game, and they got to clinch in front of the home crowd. This is the first, this is their fifth playoff game, but the first that the home fans really got to be a part of it. And what a special moment to be able to celebrate with them.
Yep. So the Texas Rangers, you hear it here, are advancing, you see it here, are advancing to the ALCS to take on the winner of the Astros and the Twins, which means it is time on the board, Alex.
Yeah?
To advance the Texas Rangers to the ALCS, the 5 seed, beating the 4 seed, beating the 1 seed, not taking a single loss in any of those games. It has been dominance so far for this team.
If you looked at all the teams in the DS, would you have picked the Rangers to be the first to advance?
No.
Yeah.
No. But I would say it's not to me shocking. I didn't pick it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say, I would have been more shocked if the Marlins, right, advanced to the NLCS than the Rangers. Look, let's not forget, the Rangers were one game away, just one game away from sitting right here as the 2 seed, right? But because of how everything unfolded, they folded the final weekend of the final series. They end up the 5 seed. But should it be a surprise to anybody that this team ends up in the ALCS? They were one of the best teams in baseball for the majority of the season. Yeah. Definitely a roller coaster of a team. But if your offense, which is what this team is built around, if your offense can show up in October, I mean, they're gonna win ball games. They could beat whoever advances from the Astros or Twins. They really could. If they keep hitting, they're dangerous.
And it's crazy, too, because I think their biggest question mark and 2 of their biggest losses were their starting pitchers. Their 2 aces that they lost throughout the season. And they now have 2 other guys that have completely stepped up in the postseason. And I would not bet against Eovaldi or Montgomery so far from what we've seen in the playoffs.
They've both been fantastic.
Lights out.
And absolutely. If you were to tell Rangers fans heading into this season that you're going to end up in the ALCS and Jacob deGrom's not going to be a part of it and Max Scherzer's not going to be a part of it, you would have said, well, why is Jacob deGrom not a part of it? And why is Max Scherzer on our team? So now fast forward, he gets traded to the team. He gets hurt. He's not part of it. And Jacob deGrom, unfortunately, goes down, ends up getting hurt. Just a really, really impressive showing. And all the players obviously deserve so much credit. And we've talked about Bruce Bochy. But the front office's ability to go out at the trade deadline and get those pieces like Jordan Montgomery, right? Everyone talked about Max Scherzer.
Yeah, they did.
Everyone. But we didn't talk much about Jordan Montgomery. But Max Scherzer not being on this roster for the ALDS against the Orioles. But if they advance, we were told, and now they are, he will likely be ready for the ALCS. So they're going to get one of their big guys back. We know deGrom's done for the year. Yeah. But Scherzer's going to come back.
But Scherzer hasn't pitched in a game since September 12th, right? This is long time. This is the same injury that your brother dealt with, Justin Verlander, during spring training. And once he got back, he really wasn't fully back to himself until, 4 games in? 5 games in?
And he went on a rehab assignment.
I know.
So Max isn't going to do any of that. Well, I mean, he's thrown bullpens and stuff, but he ain't throwing in a game.
Pain-free bullpen session.
He's just going to go
not live game pitching.
Right into the ALCS. Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't know how. I don't know if I feel great about hearing that Scherzer's going to be on the roster or not, because I mean, obviously he's a gamer. And one of the best to do it. But the guy hasn't pitched in a while, and he's just going to hop into the biggest game of the year for them.
And where do you put him in? Because right now, your 1-2 have been lights out. I think you have to continue to roll with them. No?
So tonight was Tuesday. Nate Eovaldi threw. He was fantastic. I fully imagine Scherzer's 100% healthy and okay and good to go. I think Nate Eovaldi throws game 1.
On Sunday.
That'd be his 5th day. That's normal rest for him, would be Sunday.
Okay.
I think they probably, I don't know. I could see them going Scherzer 3.
That would be my guess. That would be the smart move.
But why? If he's good, if you're going to throw him in 3, I mean, he traditionally is the better pitcher than Jordan Montgomery.
But he hasn't pitched in a game since September 12th.
Then why are you going to throw him in game 3? If you're not going to throw him in game 2, you get what I'm saying? I agree. But if you're going to throw him in game 3, it's not like he's going to pitch a simulated game in the meantime, right? Okay. I don't know, but it's tricky. I don't know what you do with him. Maybe we see him come. Does he come in out of the pen? I don't know what they're going to do with him.
Has he ever done that before?
He has done that in the playoffs, I believe. Okay. But and early in his career he did. Okay. But I just wonder what you do with the guy when you have 2 great guys going.
You do.
And then if you go Max and 2, then that's just pushing Jordan Montgomery even further away from his last start.
Who has been great for you. And don't you depend on what the 2 guys who have gotten you to this point right now, right?
Yeah.
Feels like what you have to do.
Yeah, and then just view whatever you get from Scherzer as a bonus.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think that's what they should do. Go 3. I would love to see Eovaldi and then Jordan Montgomery. And we're seeing the team get ready. We're close, Alex. We are close to some locker room celebrations here.
Do we get sound in there?
They're heading in. We will eventually.
Awesome.
But once they start popping bottles in there, we'll go to it. But
yeah,
I love this. I'm a sucker for a good a good champagne celebration. But before this gets going, Alex.
Yeah.
I just need to say, I am extremely disappointed that I won't get to go to the bird bath.
I know you are. I know you are. But you gotta hand it to the Rangers. They came in, knocked out, swept the 1 seed, and this is where the experience comes into play against the inexperience. And we saw it. Why experience matters at any level. Manager, players, everything.
Yep.
Veterans.
So we're getting ready to get underway down here. You can hear it going on. Once Bochy or a player starts talking and giving a speech, we'll lay out and let everybody soak this in and hear it. Again, these are exclusive cameras down there that we have access to, and we'll stay live here on this celebration for a while. You'll be able to see everybody in that. It looks like the locker room's turning into a disco.
A club.
A club, by the way.
I love this.
So, yeah, we'll get ready. You already got guys coming in, putting on their goggles, Bochy walking in. So
shirtless?
Somebody...
Is Bochy just walking in with no shirt
No,
on?
that way Bochy walked past for a second.
Okay.
So once they start the speeches, you'll be able to hear that and everything. And then, yeah, you'll be along the ride for this celebration. We'll be back on after all of that. But, yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't admit that I am upset that I will not be sitting in the bird bath. I mentioned it for how long? So long.
The whole season?
Yes.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Enjoy the Rangers celebration.
What you guys did here, going to Tampa, going to Baltimore, doing that, and doing it here, that's one of the most incredible things I've seen. The only thing I need to know right now, Hedgie, what's the number on your ass right now?
Young, the general management, it's actually great to catch back.
Where's that lanky wet blanket at? Let's get going first. Fuck Jonah. Let's get him wet. Get that pussy wet. Someone having a good interview already? Really good. Really good. Make sure you conceal your shit. Where's the after party? Evan's hotel room. Evan's hotel room. You're on the penthouse floor. Where's, yeah, let's get Cody. Let's get Cody. Oh, there he is. Oh, where is he? Where's Cody? Let's get her to that. Oh, yeah! Drink it, Cody! Drink it!
Nathan, eat it, Cody! Evo to the chair!
Evo! Evo to the chair! To the chair!
Oh, yeah. That's why we're here, man. That's right.
We're just starting.
That's right. That's right.
Obviously, a pretty remarkable playoff performance for you personally thus far, and also for the team. What was it like for you?
In my eyes. Here, give me that thing.
With Brandon! Dude, we got you. We got it, dude. We got it, dude.
Pulling the cable back right now.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Flippin' Bats. We got 2 games today. Game 3 of the ALDS has happened today. We have the Rangers winning the series over the Baltimore Orioles. We had the Astros and Twins playing today as well. I'm joined, as always, by Alex Curry. And Alex, it was a big day around baseball. We got a couple Game 3s, and we already have our first team advancing out of the division series round. Texas Rangers beating the Baltimore Orioles, sweeping them. They have not lost a game yet this playoffs, and they are advancing to the ALCS.
I think the craziest thing for the Rangers is they had never swept a playoff series in franchise history until this year, and they have now swept back-to-back series. Hats off to the Texas Rangers, because the last week of the regular season was not some of their best work, but the moment the postseason started, they have turned into a completely different team. The team that we saw for that chunk of the season where they were one of the best teams in baseball.
Well, they were one of the best teams in baseball for that chunk of the season because of their offense.
Yeah.
And that's what we've seen from them over the last few days, over the last couple of weeks, really, since the playoffs started. Look, they put up 18 runs in the last 2 games of this series.
Yep.
And they did enough in game 1 of the series to win in Baltimore. And then their offense just takes over, right? And that's what we've seen from them. The usual candidates and usual suspects and Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, but Evan Carter, fantastic. Evan Carter adds a totally new dynamic to this Rangers offense. You got a 21-year-old kid. He just turned 21. That is one of the best players already in baseball at working counts, getting deep into counts, putting pitches in a pitcher. I've been super impressed by him. Adolis Garcia, a big game tonight, hit a home run that we saw, which was huge for the Rangers. The offense has been firing on all cylinders, and when the Rangers' offense is firing on all cylinders, they're really difficult to beat, and that's what made them one of the best teams in baseball. It's what they live and die by, right? And literally with them this year, they live and die by the offense. That series in Seattle to end the year, they couldn't score. We saw them lose that series and lose the division because of it. But when they're going well, they're really tough to beat. And we saw the pitching do enough this series as well, including in Game 3. Nate Eovaldi was awesome. Jordan Montgomery's been great throughout the playoffs. The Rangers, hats off to them. Like you said, Alex, they had never swept a playoff series ever in their
franchise history.
And they've now done it twice in the span of a week and a half. Congratulations to them. They did 4 of their 5 victories were all on the road. 2 in Tampa against a team that many people were saying would beat the Rangers. Then you go and play the best team in the American League all year long in the Baltimore Orioles. They win 2 on the road there in that crazy environment.
Yep.
And then they finally get a home game. And guess what? They end up winning the series, advancing, and getting to celebrate there down on the field. And we got to see the live celebrations here and be a part of that. This has been a cool day for the Rangers.
I mean, how special is it for these fans? They've, as you mentioned, 4 playoff games they have had. Not one has been at home. And the first one that they have at home, they clinch and move on to the ALCS. But if you were to have told Rangers fans, hey, you're going to get to the ALCS and your pitching's also going to be great, but you're not going to have Jacob deGrom and you're not going to have Max Scherzer. Your 2 aces that you picked up throughout this year, that was the question mark. That was the big concern heading into the postseason. And their pitching has been lights out.
Well, imagine, Alex, imagine being a Rangers fan the day before the season.
Yeah.
And somebody telling you, hey, you're going to end up in the ALCS, but you're not going to have Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer's going to be out too. You'd say, well, that's not good about deGrom. And how the hell did we get Max Scherzer? And now here we are, and that's been exactly the case. Jacob deGrom out for the year, obviously, with the injury. Max Scherzer ends up being traded to the team at the trade deadline, one of the biggest trades we saw, and he gets hurt. Now they haven't had him. The Rangers front office deserves so much credit for how they constructed this team. And I had my doubts.
Yeah.
I had my worries.
Everyone did.
I thought they threw too much at Jacob deGrom with the risk that came about there.
Yep.
And I won't disagree with that. That ended up being right, but they didn't end up needing him to get to where they have.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy. And they deserve so much credit for the pieces they added around him, right? For what they did to the offense, for when they brought guys up at the right time, and for adding Bruce Bochy to all of this.
Probably the biggest pickup.
Probably the biggest pickup. And again, I mentioned Max Scherzer being the biggest pickup at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Well, right now, Jordan Montgomery's looking like the biggest pickup at the trade deadline for how good he's been in these playoffs. I just think the front office deserves so much credit. We'll obviously give a lot of credit to this team, but Bruce Bochy and that front office for what they've done to the Rangers this year, this has been a 2-year turnaround.
Yeah.
We talk about the Orioles and how fast their turnaround was.
Within 3 years. Yeah, the 100-plus loss season to then the 100-win season all within 3 seasons. The first time that's ever happened in MLB history. But yeah, you got to talk about the Rangers as well, being kind of in a similar position where everyone counted them out. No one thought they could get to the postseason, let alone get far into the postseason. So I have to ask, is this where the experience and inexperience really comes into play? Because, yeah, okay, the Rangers don't have a ton of playoff experience over the last couple of years, but they have pieces and players who have that experience, especially your leader in Bruce Bochy.
And I think that came to play. I really do think that came into play. And, you know, I think it's less about what the Rangers do have, though their stars have playoff experience, right? Corey Seager, obviously Max Scherzer being in the dugout.
Yeah.
Jordan Montgomery, playoff experience. Nate Eovaldi, tons of playoff experience. You look all around the field, they have guys that are young and don't, but plenty of guys that do. And you look at the Baltimore Orioles, where's that playoff experience coming from? Aaron Hicks? Is that what, I mean, yeah, I get they do have some pieces that have playoff experience, but like, not your guys. The whole core is young, right? And that's a huge part of what we saw here is I just felt like from the very beginning, from the first pitch of game 1 of this series, the Orioles just seemed a bit inexperienced.
The moment was too big, unfortunately.
And we've heard all, you know, John Smoltz has said it on Flippin' Bats for the last 2 weeks he's been on. And we've heard all the MLB on Fox pregame guys talk about it and heard Derek Jeter talk about it. And by the way, Derek Jeter coming out tomorrow. Interviewed him, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But you've heard Derek Jeter talk about it of what changes in the playoffs? Like, it's a different game. How do you handle it? And his answer is, well, you don't change. But it's almost impossible not to.
Yeah.
And the more and more experience you get, and that's what he says. That's why Jeter said he's so good in the playoffs. Well, I was in the playoffs as a kid.
Yeah.
and I was there for my whole career.
Uh-huh.
So you just build on these experiences. And if you're a Baltimore Orioles fan, of course, you're frustrated, you're upset, you're devastated, you're the #1 seed, and you get swept in the DS. But all this is experience for your young guys that will come back next year. They will be in the
chip
playoffs.
on their shoulder.
They'll have a chip on their shoulder, and they'll have the experience of this year and how to handle that. And I just think the Rangers came in with all those games being played, all the momentum after that first round. Next thing you know, they're going up against a team that when those lights turn on in game 1, look, it's batter #1, 2 strikes on the batter, and everybody's standing. The towels are going crazy. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And those young, inexperienced players, I think it got the best of them a little bit. And, yeah, the Orioles end up getting swept in the series. And there's a real conversation to be had there.
Pitching.
It's just pitching.
Yeah.
I was saying it all year.
At the trade deadline.
At the trade deadline.
Get an ace.
Look, Jack Flaherty wasn't the answer.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I was saying in the moment. This team is so ready to win, but they didn't have the pitching that they needed to get the job done. And Jack Flaherty just didn't feel like the answer at the trade deadline. You guess how many games Jack Flaherty started in the playoffs for the Orioles? 0. And, you know, like this is it was a frustrating. It was just frustrating to watch the way the Orioles went about it. I thought they needed to go get an ace. I thought they needed an ace of a staff type guy, and they didn't go get it. And I do think that hurt them. And you can say, well, the offense all along wasn't there. They didn't do what they needed to do. We talked about it the other day. The offense, they feed off of each other, right?
Yeah.
And when you come to the plate every single day, down 6 runs. I mean, look at tonight. They were down 6 runs after the 2nd inning. Then you're constantly feeling like you are playing catch up. And with a really young offense that's also really inexperienced in the playoffs, it just makes it super difficult. And I would love to see them this offseason go out and add pitching, go out and add a Corbin Burns, who I think will be available and a good guy to go get. It's just, I think it's just, it was the lack of an experience and pitching for the Baltimore Orioles.
Well, let's keep talking about pitching and experience, but on the other side, right? We saw him in the dugout, Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
Okay. He's coming back from the same injury that your brother dealt with at the beginning of the season, which took your brother 4 or 5 starts and a rehab assignment to get back to normal. The Rangers are saying that Max Scherzer threw a pain-free bullpen and could be available in this next series. He has not pitched a game since September 12th. Where would you put him in this rotation right now with a team that has just been rolling and red hot, and the guys who have stepped up on the mound have been lights out for you?
Yeah, I've thought a good bit about this because what we were told and what came out publicly is that Max Scherzer is not going to be available for the ALDS.
Yeah.
But if they advance, he should be available. And everything's looked good. He's thrown a pain-free bullpen. He's thrown he's thrown in batting practice. Like he's done some things.
Not the same as pitching in a live game.
Agreed. And you know who also did those things? Justin. And that was before he went out on a rehab assignment and then came back and still wasn't himself for probably a few weeks. So we're just expecting Max Scherzer to go straight from a pain-free bullpen to the biggest game of the season for the Rangers. I don't know. So I have wondered, what do you do? So their final game of the DS was on Tuesday. First game of the CS is going to be on Sunday. So Nady Eovaldi was fantastic Tuesday. His normal rest would be Sunday. So I think we end up seeing Eovaldi going in game 1.
You should.
And then I honestly...
Montgomery?
I think you go Montgomery is my guess. And I almost wonder, like, the Rangers are craving. They're begging for a number 3 starter to step up.
Yeah.
So I almost think you throw Scherzer in that game, but I don't know if they're saying he'll be available, if it's maybe like a bullpen.
Also, like, how many innings is he going to be available? What's his pitch count going to be?
Right.
Because this is his first game back. I can't imagine him going more than 3.5 innings.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So that's why I wonder, like, the first time we see Max, might it be on the road and out of the bullpen?
Has he done that before?
Yeah, beginning of his career,
Okay.
postseason we've seen it from him. So I don't know what you do with him, but those fans expecting, oh, great, we're getting Max Scherzer back. Let's not just expect Max Scherzer to be the Game 1 starter in the ALCS for the Texas Rangers and him be Hall of Fame Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
My brother went through this exact same thing at the beginning of the season. It kept him out for a month.
In spring training.
Very into spring training and first month of the season.
Yeah.
Kept him out for a month, goes on a rehab assignment, comes back, has to build up his pitch count. He's clearly not on. He's not on. It took him another few weeks to even feel like he was himself again. So let's not just expect Max Scherzer to jump in here and be right back to where he was. I would absolutely go Nate Eovaldi in Game 1 if I'm the Rangers. And by the way, tonight we saw him historically good, over 76% strike percentage, which is the second highest all-time behind Andy Pettit.
You have to have him on the mound in Game 1.
Filling up the zone.
You have to. When someone's hot like that and helping your team basically sweep the postseason so far to get to this point, confidence-wise, you have to be like, hey, you're our guy. You've gotten us here. Here's the ball. Game 1. Let's go. Right?
Look, we've talked. It's something. The postseason's a different ball game. You got players that step up, and you got players at the moment gets the best of them. Nate Eovaldi has proven for years now that when the playoffs are here, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. I would absolutely give him the ball in Game 1 in the ALCS.
Yeah, congratulations to Texas. And what a fan to just be a baseball fan in Texas.
Yeah.
You got the Rangers clinching today, and then you have the Astros, who took a 2-1 series lead over the Twins.
Yeah, so the Houston Astros in a big, we talked a lot about the percentages, right, of who has the advantage, and the Twins winning Game 2 of that series gained a huge advantage there and go back home having all the confidence in the world. Well, the one problem with that, Alex, and the one problem with all these percentages is that the Houston Astros play better on the road than they do at home.
I forgot about that.
They were so much better on the road this year than they were at home. They've been so much better on the road in the postseason. They get out on the road, and they have just fully embraced that villain role that's been thrown on them now for years. They go on the road. They get booed. They embrace it. They love it. They dominate on the road. So throw all the statistics out the window. Oh, the Twins are heading home with all the confidence in the world after winning one game. That is true, and they should have. But let's not forget, the Houston Astros are better on the road, and they're the better team, and that's what we saw. We saw them immediately come out, put up 4 runs. Jose Abreu, 3-run homer in the first inning. It was 4-0 before the Twins could even blink. Yeah. And that's the problem with the Astros. They don't go away. They love playing on the road. They've embraced the road, and now the Astros are 1 win away from 7 straight ALCSs. Now, still 1 win away. You got 2 games left to win 1. Twins could obviously come back and win this series, but a huge game for the Astros.
I mean, this is where the postseason experience really comes into play.
Yep.
The Astros have that experience. The Twins, they have Carlos Correa, who has that experience. But ultimately, what did you say? The Astros are inevitable. It's just what it is. Every single day, they can have a different guy step up. But it's been Yordan Alvarez having one of the best offensive performances in postseason history that also gave them a huge boost today. Yeah, look, Yordan has been unbelievable this postseason. And through the first 3 games here, he's got tied for the second highest OPS in postseason history in a series. Highest slugging percentage through the first 3 games. His slugging has been off the charts. His OPS are off the charts. An OPS of over 2.205 OPS. 2.250 through the first 3 games in this series. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. That's unheard of. In 12 at-bats, he has a .500 batting average. As you mentioned, 2.205 OPS, 4 home runs, 6 RBI. Like, he is red hot.
Yeah,
red hot.
and we've seen it time and time again. We saw it in this postseason already. And I've said it before. If you're the opposing team and you get this bright idea to warm up a left-handed pitcher to bring in against Jordan, just don't do it.
Or do it for the Astros.
Or do it.
Just do it.
For the entertainment value of it, because it doesn't fail. Or it never fails for Jordan.
Yeah.
It fails for the team every single time they do it. So he's been historically good again today with a home run for Jordan Alvarez. And look, Jameson Taillon, pitcher in the big leagues, said, my playoff baseball observation, Jordan Alvarez is out of this world good and somehow feels underrated. When he's going like this, not much you can do but hope he hits it 110 miles an hour on a line drive right at someone. And that feels true with Jordan when the postseason comes around. And I will say, I don't disagree with his statement of underrated.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think people know Jordan. I think they know he's good. But this guy right now is the best hitter in baseball. And there's no doubt. Currently, absolutely. It's been unbelievable for Jordan. And if he's this hot, the Astros aren't going to be beat.
So, okay, tomorrow, the Astros have a chance to clinch and move on to play the Rangers in the ALDS, in the ALCS.
Yeah.
The Twins. What do the Twins have to do to avoid that? What do the Astros have to do to make sure that happens?
The Twins, what you got to do is just force the madness of a do-or-die Game 5.
Okay.
When you force a Game 5, all bets are off, right? The Astros, obviously, the series goes back home. You'll probably have Justin on the mound in a Game 5. But really, once you get to that do-or-die game, all bets are off. It's a toss-up at that point. So if you're the Twins, get to a Game 5 and get through the first 2 innings of the game without giving up a run. That's what needs to happen. Get through the first couple innings and leave your team with a chance to add on it and get a lead. But Game 3, Alex, it just feels like in a best-of-5 series, Game 3 is the turning point.
It is. One
way or another. And we've talked about the percentages. The Twins winning Game 2, winning 1 of 2 on the road, they go back home with a 68% chance of winning the series, right? Because then you get the next 2 at home. Well, the Game 3 winner has a 71% chance of winning the series altogether. 71.7% chance to win that series if you win Game 3.
I mean, you also have to factor in the fact that the Astros are better on the road.
Right. Well,
So
that adds in a whole new element.
That's a whole different ball game. So this is going to be a fun one tomorrow. We've got 3 games, 3 series happening tomorrow.
It would have been a 4-pack, but
Rangers,
obviously Rangers-Orioles wrapped up early.
Got it done.
So yeah, we get 3 games tomorrow. All the remaining games, we get 1 series that there will definitely not be a clinching situation, and that's Braves-Phillies, which is the best series we got going right now. That one
feels like it's going to go 5.
It really does. But all the other ones, Dodgers, D-backs, that one could end tomorrow. This one, Astros and Twins, that could end tomorrow. So we have those 3 going. But yeah, Alex, my takeaway from today is just, I don't know. it's not sitting well with me, the Orioles' performance in the playoffs. It's just
That's the inexperience.
And it is.
The moment was too big.
Yeah.
I know you're sad because you wanted to go in the bird bath. Let's be honest. That's why you're really upset.
Yeah.
And I know you love the young team. So, but.
Yeah, but again, they're just now another number on the statistic. You know, they won 101 games this year. The Orioles went 101-61 this season. One of just a few teams to win over 100 games. And the theme, and this is one of the craziest things, one of the craziest stats we got going in baseball playoffs right now. In the last 20 chances, teams that have won 100 or more games in the regular season aren't even advancing 1 round in the playoffs. 11 of the last 20. Now 12 of the last 21 are not advancing at least 1 round. And guess what? We could have another one tallied onto that tomorrow. If the Dodgers don't advance, then it'd be 13 of the last 22 teams to win 100 or more games are not advancing.
I'm not that surprised because if you think about it, if you're winning 100+ games, that means you're clinching your postseason berth pretty early on. So that means there's a couple weeks of the regular season that you're playing not meaningful games. You can say, oh, we're still playing, we're trying, but you're not fighting for a spot to get into the postseason. That fight is a different mentality than, oh, we're in, we're just coasting, we're going to win some games, it's going to be great. No, because then you have to completely turn that mentality around 3 weeks later and after a bye to then try to get back to that fighting just mid-season form. And it's not the same.
I do agree with that, but I would say it's more so a factor on the other side. Those other teams are coming in while being in, they have been playing for their lives. So it is a factor of, well, what if they, like they've had the division wrapped up for 3 weeks now, and then they just got to turn it on. Yes, but they can turn it on. Like that is able to happen. But on the contrary, we didn't even know if we were getting the playoffs 2 days ago. And now we're here. We're playing with all the momentum of us being able to get here. We have all the confidence in the world. So it's like this weird combination of a team that hasn't been playing for anything that's now playing for their lives and a team that's already been playing for their lives for a month.
That's what we saw last year, too, with the Phillies getting into the World Series.
We saw it often last year. 3 times it happened last year with the Dodgers, Braves, and Mets. They all didn't advance around. We saw the Phillies we saw the Phillies beat that Braves team. We saw the Padres beat that Dodgers team and the Mets. I mean, those teams that come in playing for their lives, and I really do think that is a factor here with the Baltimore Orioles, is 1, the inexperience, and 2, the layoff that they had to do while not playing for much down the stretch either has gone on to them. And really, I just want to say me for not getting to go to the Bird Bath.
That's what I said off the top. I was like, I know that's why you're really upset.
That's
you're not going to get to experience spring break Ben in the Bird Bath with your beer bong.
Spring break, yes.
With
SBB.
your white t-shirt.
SBB, spring break Ben. Ben never got a spring break in college because he just keep playing baseball.
I know.
And it never stops. But
that was it.
Yeah, I was frustrated. You see, the game was 7-1. The Orioles are down by 6+ runs at one point. Gunnar Henderson gets on base and starts turning on the faucet like they always do. You better turn that faster. We need some water quick.
That was a soft
we
turn
need
on.
some runs quick. Not great for the Orioles. And now you got the Twins, the Twins with their backs against the wall as well.
All right, let's wrap things up with our top 3 players of the day, starting with number 3, Nathan Eovaldi. Just a lights-out performance for Texas.
Playoff Nate. There ain't no beating playoff Nate. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 0 walks. I told you about his strike percentage. One of the best strike percentages that we've ever seen in the playoffs, behind only Andy Pettitte. And he's got 3 of the top 14. I mean, this guy, I'm telling you, there's certain players you just know. Carlos Correa is one of them. Calendar turns to October. Guess what? Carlos shows up. Derek Jeter, David Ortiz, you just know when the calendar turns to October, they're showing up. Nathan Eovaldi is another one of those guys. We've seen it for years, and we saw it again today. 7 innings, 0 walks, only 1 earned run.
Number 2 is also one of those guys, having one of the best offensive performances in postseason history, Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah, Yordan is only number 2 on this list, although he is having one of the best offensive series that we have ever seen. 3 for 5 with a homer today, 2 doubles on top of the home run, and RBI to boot. This is as locked in as I have ever seen anyone, ever. And there's just no, if I'm the Twins, stop pitching to him. I'm serious. Stop pitching to the guy. You put him on first base. Look at the Astros. Justin's laughing in the dugout like this guy's unbelievable. Well, I can't believe they're pitching to him.
It's good.
Stop
good
doing
for the Astros.
Yeah, it's great if you're the Astros, but if you're the Twins, if I'm a Twins fan, I'm like, look, I can tell you right now, this guy's going to hit something hard somewhere. And if nobody's on base, just pitch around him. It's getting ridiculous. But yeah, I'm all for it. We're seeing one of the best offensive performances that we've seen ever. But Yordan is number 2.
And number 1 player of the day, Jose Abreu.
Yeah, Jose Abreu with his 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, a 3-run homer in the first inning of the game. Before you blink, if you're the Twins, before you can even come up to the plate and in front of your home crowd for the first time in an ALDS this year, you're behind 4-0.
Bye. It was just like, oh, okay. Astros are going to win this one. You just felt it.
Yeah, and Jose Abreu, obviously a huge part of that. That first inning, the 3-run homer, hit a homer later in the game, 5 RBIs. So Jose Abreu, my #1 player of the day. Nathan Eovaldi, Yordan Alvarez, and Jose Abreu.
That's great. What a lineup. What a day.
It was. It was a great day.
You had a great day because you also talked to the captain today.
I did. I talked to one of the coolest moments that I have had here for Flippin' Bats and the years that I have done this now is being able to talk to Derek Jeter, a new coworker of ours here at Fox, and he's on that MLB on Fox team doing a great job with, you know, KB, Poppy, A-Rod, himself. They've been great together, and to have him come up here on the set of Flippin' Bats and talk to him for a while and ask him so many questions about, you know, playing in the postseason and the Yankees and his iconic plays throughout his career and some stories from throughout his career. One of the coolest things I have ever gotten to do, and that actually comes out tomorrow, right around 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific. The interview with Derek Jeter comes out. So I hope everybody checks that out because that was super special for me. And it was a really, really awesome conversation for sure.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good work, team. I can't wait to listen to it.
And he's awesome, by the way.
I met him in the makeup room. The kindest human. Comes up, shakes your hand. Great to meet you. I'm like, oh, yeah, I work with Ben Verlander. He's like, I'm coming on your show on Tuesday. I was like, great. Awesome. Can't wait.
He came up here and shook everybody's hand.
Yeah.
He was the nicest guy. He was so gracious with his time and
Big fan of the human.
Big fan.
Yeah.
The captain, #2, Derek Jeter, tomorrow on Flippin' Bats. Make sure you check that out. But also tomorrow on Flippin' Bats, we will be back after the last out of the final game. In fact, if the last game is a clinching scenario and the team that's going to win is clinching, well, we will be live again right as that is happening for the last few outs of the game.
I hope not.
We'll see what happens. We will be live tomorrow night with another episode of Flippin' Bats, breaking it all down, all the games that take place tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. But that does it for another episode of Flippin' Bats. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. We're also on all social media, including YouTube, where you can watch every single thing we do. But that does it for this show today. Tomorrow, Derek Jeter joins Flippin' Bats, and we will be live at the end of the night as well. Until then, my friends, peace.